it wasn't showing me go online. They were playing the game with it. Don't be double Xing me, brah. They always do it. They double X me. Yeah, the double dash guy. He got all choked up. He found some guy. I think I shared it. Found some guy that was really hard off. The guy was started crying when he gave him money. He ran off, really hard up for money. And he lost it. He's like throwing all his money at the guy. Like he does it anyway, but it was like even more. I was like, here, take all of it. Guys crying. I wonder where he gets money from. Could be people watching his videos too. So okay, so what we're looking at here. Let me change the slide there, I guess, so we can see what actually happened. So this is I'm going to tell you how it happened, and they burned themselves. They playing a game with me. So the last post I comment on is Prickster's post. They're trying to get me to be violent against Prickster, I guess, because that's their thing, man. They're scammers. They're some of the worst people that ever been in this country. And they've committed acts of espionage, acts of sabotage, acts of extortion, acts of racketeering, acts of sexualization, acts of murder. They the real Epsteins, I'll tell you that. And the people that protect them for money. What do you mean, Democrat Party? But there's some Republicans in there. They the people that paid off, what's his name there? All right. So what they're doing is every time I open up X, it's suspended, but I can open it up. Prickster's there. Now another post by Prickster. They know what they're doing. They're putting it there to try to get at me. Let's not get my goat. It's a PSYOP. Psychological warfare activity of a felony proportion, including stalking. So Prickster says in I opened up my X about 15 minutes ago, and there's Prickster. And he says, well, the best way to get people, to help people to afford things is to raise their wages. And I said, bullshit. As you raise your wages, the prices go up. And it's a never-ending thing. But you look like you're rescuing them every time. Every year you go, oh, the prices are up, so I'm going to give you more wages. And then the prices go up some more from the wages. So I'm like, wait a minute here. So I Googled this. It would be about 2 years. I mean, even could go back further. But generally, anything 6 months before Trump would fall on Trump, before the wage increase would occur. Because you raise the wages, then there's inflationary pressure, then prices go up. So yes, numerous ways have been passed and implemented in the last 2 years, 2024 to 2026, primarily at the state and local levels, while the federal minimum wage remained at $7.25. I don't want people to be poor, but there's a way to do this to not cause inflation. and these Democrats didn't do that, and they probably did it on purpose. So we got 19 states, 49 cities and counties raised their minimum wage with 60 reaching or exceeding $15 per hour. And this is what I told them. I said, if you're going to do that, you have to incrementally do it, and you have to offset it with something else so you don't cause inflation. Because then you're just catching your tail. Every time you raise wages, prices of services and products go up, and then you raise wages again, and everything just keeps going up. And that's probably what's been going on. So in 2025, a record 88 jurisdictions, 23 states, put it back on the Democrats. I guarantee that's who that is. You can fully pull yourself out of any inflationary questionability because you didn't raise the wages. You just got to educate people on what's going on and how it's a scam. It's actually a scam. Prickster's like, yeah, I'll raise your wages. And what's going to happen? The prices will go up. He goes, Prickster here to rescue again. I'll raise your wages. And they just keep doing it and fooling the people. That's what Pritzker was saying. Oh, the best way to help people is raise. You can't. It's a never-ending battle. Raise wages, prices go up from the raise of the wages, because the business owners are not going to take it on the chin. They're going to pass it on to the consumer. So they're focusing everybody on the tariff that they're screwing up. If they never played their game, we would have got that tariff battle over with. And in fact, the tariff money's owed us. Cut those businesses out. They already got paid by raising prices. Now, Pritzker takes that argument, because that's what the spies do, and they try to flip it around on me and try to make it go against Trump. And tell, well, Trump more's getting you in trouble. This is it. This is the inflation. What you see on the screen there is absolutely everything that caused the inflation. Or the majority of it, at least. I told Matt like 4 years ago that this would happen. Maybe even longer. I've said it quite a few times. So the Democrats play a game. They make people think, hey, we're rescuing you by raising your wages, but that's what's causing the more expensive products. What's raising the wages is drug money, fraud money, sex trafficking money. Because if the money's out there, like these immigrants got tons of money. You see them out there on your jet skis or big trucks. If the money's out there and they're going to pay it, somebody will charge it. Again, it's just like almost like raising wages, but a little different. It's like almost the reverse, but it has the same effect. So whereas we don't have the money because we don't make as much as the drug dealer, the sex trafficker, and the fraudster Somali guy, let me those people out in California who can afford to pay these kind of prices and things. All the criminal economy in California allows people to be rich enough to pay all this, all those fees that are out there, and all the craziness, because they're lax at enforcing law. They just raised all the wages, and that causes inflation because everybody starts charging more money to cover the wage increase. So usually within 6 months, the inflation occurs. So I went with, and it could go back further, but I went with 2024 through 2026. So again, there it is. There's more information for the election if you can get it out there. If I'm not blocked. Now I can't get to Lutnick and Basant. They need to get on something like Facebook. And you know what? Lutnick was friendly with Elon, and Elon does it to him. Tries to make him out to be a pedophile, while Elon is probably thinking about really dating somebody that's young, that's around Epstein with those emails. Oh, I wasn't going to speak about him. Hopefully my archive comes in. There was another way to get in to get the archive, to request an archive. So I'm hoping they bless me with an archive, and then I can move on. Here's Lutnick. Let's see on New York Post with this way to go. That's his first name, Howard. That's you and your old site, I guess. There, let me follow that. I don't think you're on there now. That's 2022. Jesus. Oh, for the days of Howard's 2022. No stress, casual life. That's 2024. That was the last time you posted there. What, e-commerce? So that got him. He's sitting there playing a psycho game with me. It gave me my answers. Should fire him. I'm telling you, it's going to be worse off for all of you since they did this to me. January 20. They put the they in there, I'm almost positive. I think it's funny because they hack it into everything and make it look like it was there from the beginning. I gotta, I forgot how to do this now. I gotta be able to. I gotta find this because Howard, I can't put a photo on Facebook. I could do it on X. I think that's half why they did it. They knew it would throw that whole thing off. Well, you should be on everything anyway. You're the United States government. You should be on Blue Sky, everything. Don't you have? Can't you assign somebody like a team of people across every department? They work with you to make sure you get a post up every day, at least one. He's not on Blue Sky. Maybe he's on Treads. The Meta Treads. Now, what I'm trying to do is to get it on Facebook, I actually have to copy it and then paste it. And I think I left that page. Let me see my history if I can find it. I don't feel like doing an OCR. I guess I gotta find. Let me see if it's we have a different window open. I gotta get this. They're blocking it. I can feel it. There it is. Well, let me get this thing done. On that page, whatever it is. I don't even know if they look at it. They can even see it. There's such crooks in this world. They'll go to hell, man. That's the real part of it. They can play their game while they're here. If they do succeed without having any issues. No, it's not just happening. That was just proof right there. Your little game opens. So that's what it's supposed to do every time. That's how I would be a millionaire anyway. Every time they screwed me, the system would give me. Until I walked up and some guy started throwing money at me. But they constantly monitor. Why do you do that? Because you're crooks, all of you. I already spoke on that. Do I have to speak on it again? No, I don't know what the inflation is because it's just crazy. And again, there's different inflationary categories, right? You may beat one inflation category and not beat the other, so it wouldn't show up on any particular thing possibly. I'm gonna try to find. I don't think this is him. There's no blue thingy there. Won't let me get the treasury. I think your page is old. It says Treasury Scott Bassam, but there's no blue. Hmm. Influence husband threatened Eric Swalwell after he allegedly bombarded her with nudes and turned up at her house. I don't know if that's real, but maybe it is. So again, you have to be careful because another defense that they use is that they put so much bullshit out there. What do you believe? But of course, the person that worked for him, that seems real. So again, the Dems have been causing inflation with wage increases. Well, that's not how you control inflation. It's how you increase inflation. Now, if you were to go like $1 or 50 cents or $1 per year, that would probably work a little better, but I'm sure you didn't. But yeah, keep messing me. Keep putting Pritzker in front of my face, and I'll figure something else out soon again. Yeah, with Threads is weird because you gotta go over here and hit that plus. It just kind of doesn't flow like the other ones. Yeah, the president needs to be aware of that. Right. Wait a minute, which one's on? I could be speaking at the wrong one. I have both of them out. Oh, actually, it's this one. I got the wrong one on. I don't know if maybe you didn't hear me on some of this, but I'm sure you get the gist. No, I had the wrong lavalier on. I have no idea how that happened other than curses. These are nice. They dropped the price, so I said, this is it. I have to do it. The only I don't like, it's not a graduated, you have no adjustment on the noise cancellation. Now, if it's artificial intelligence or something like that, then quite possibly. It doesn't say that it's it. I think you should be able to put it on stronger, but I guess you can. If I did the high pass filter, it increases noise cancellation. It does have a nice EQ and a compressor. Yeah, we can't blame it even on Biden because he didn't raise the wages either. It's reading Trump's thing. No, I know it's coming, and the Dems do too. They got more Swalwells than just Swalwell. No, they want to play. They want to play. The Me Too game. We'll play the Me Too game. It's the wages. It's the increased wages. Screwed everything up. Always does. Unless you do it intelligently, and they don't do it intelligently. Looking for some clout for an election, they'll raise wages. So Pritzker, I'll raise your wages, and then he causes inflation. He goes, well, I'll do it again. I'll help you. He try to keep people stupid, man. Keep them smoking cannabis. So you just stay stupid to what the Dems are doing to rip everything off. And there are Republicans. I won't say those names just yet. Maybe on Monday. Yeah, I mean, they were just at parties, and I knew that. But it's easy. It's easy to hit them, so they shouldn't be bad to Larry. So there's no way that the conflict is over in any way, shape, or form, and I don't think it ultimately has anything to do with Netanyahu having to go to trial. I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit, but not like this is the reason we're doing it. I knew 2 years ago they're going to take out Iran. They had to take out the proxies first, so that they could get somewhat stable and stable enough to take out Iran itself. I may have been even more in 2 years, but 2 years it sounds about right. Even when they were killed, at a certain point, I think I even knew when they were killing the kids. That's probably what it was about. But I was like, you don't do that. You try to reduce collateral damage. But I mean, it's going to happen to a certain degree. Well, that's because it wasn't taken care of before this point. Yeah, using psychology, I mean, it's no problem. God will get them in the end. They know how it works. If I have a relaxed life, everything's relaxed. If they do this to me long enough, I'll say foo. But they should learn not to say foo. I'll just tell you that. Or to force me to say foo. And no, I'm not out of control. Not at all. They're out of control because they're coming into people's lives, stalking them, murdering them. I'm sure there's physical murders. Committing acts of espionage, treason. See how they flip the script? It's a given. I mean, any spy that would be honest, but they won't be honest because they all lie, would tell you that's what it does. So, yeah, looking back at the last 15 years, or so of deep state activity in my life and around my life. Again, some of it on Facebook and some of it was on the other one. What is this thing? Turn your knowledge into fluent with one click. I'll take a look at that. Yeah. What Trump's at the MMA thing. Yeah, let's see. Construction at Trump's price can resume for at least a few minutes. Let's all talk like Chuck Leon. No, the whole concept of Zion is it's being dirtied by people that are like Ben Gvir. It has nothing to do with what Ben Gvir decides to do at the end of the day. So it kind of ruining. Zion is part of Judaism. Right? It's a metaphysical concept, and it does include having a homeland to a certain degree. But you have the problem with at this stage of the game, if with all the Talmud and all the Mishnah and all the rabbis speaking outside of that with the oral Torah, there's a lot of requirements that Israel has to meet so that we don't get into these things. And I'm not totally blaming Israel. Obviously, Iran was responsible, but psychology is very important. But HSI went down to Panama? What is this? I supported the national. So you went down to Panama? I don't see. I can't see. Because it looks like, or is that the United States? It looks like it's Panama. I'll have to get the news articles. It's like the DA going down to Colombia, I guess. All right. Stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.